I hate to use my platform for drama and stuff, but I can't really be silent no longer. Joji and Void are still in contact with Rox. They are lying about the Qwel situation, and most of the things in their document have been debunked by a TikToker that I'm going to show in this video. I am not going to say anything that will get me cancelled or anything. I am only going by what this person says. Please keep in mind that this could be enraging for some people, and I rather not stay silent about the Qwel situation and actually show real proof and evidence that it might be a lie and might be a ploy to destroy Qwel's career. I am not going to really say much about this, so yeah.
In this video, I want to specifically address the claim that Qwel was a bad boss who didn't properly pay her employees. To do that, I'm going to show you a Reddit post from someone who'd been a Blushcrunch employee where they talk about their experience working there. From this point forward, I'm going to let the employees speak for themselves. I just want this information to be more widely known and give people another perspective to consider. A clarifying post about Blushcrunch from a current employee. Hi everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Aaron and I'm the Director of Consumer Goods at Blushcrunch. My team and I are responsible for all of the Dandy's World plush and figures that have come out from our wonderful manufacturer partners. I joined the studio in March of this year and I've been lurking in this subreddit since then, but I wanted to make a post clarifying a few misconceptions about the studio, especially at such a sensitive time. Now, while I am a director, I'm not an executive at the company nor am I a company man. This post is not coming from corporate and frankly, I may ruffle feathers doing this. I've always tried to be someone who serves the fanbase for the brands that I've worked on, and this is no different. People deserve as much transparency as possible, and there are a lot of misconceptions going around. Please understand that anything pertaining to legal matters and matters of the past era and management of the studio I can't talk about, nor am I a part of. The Blushcrunch legal team has made it very clear that this is for everyone's safety and, as someone who has worked on major IPS before, it's pretty normal. With that said though, I will say this because it's the most important thing above all else. The team at Blushcrunch cares tremendously about the Dandy's World fanbase. Even before the current situation started, we would always talk about what we could do to make the community happier, more excited, and safe. Now that conversation is more relevant than ever and our mission remains the same. Our hearts are with everyone who has been negatively affected by what happened in the past and what's happening now. Full stop. So let's talk about Blushcrunch. Most of the Blushcrunch team was hired in 2025-2026 when the studio truly became a studio and not a passion project for a small group. There are managers and leads over entire parts of the business, most of whom have years of industry experience and are known to be trustworthy leaders. Yes, it's true that over 100 people work on Dandy's World, but there are not 100 employees. That would make it a fairly large studio and we are just not there yet. It takes a lot of talented folks to help make Dandy's World though. There are dozens of moderators, numerous contractors who work on the music, the toys, and more. It's important to know that everything made for Dandy's World is made by a team and sometimes with external partners. The bottom line, every toy, UX update, trinket, lore video etc. is made by multiple people months in advance based on a schedule. No content is reactive. I want to share how profits work at Blushcrunch because it's frankly unlike anywhere else that I've ever worked. Legally I can't go into hyper specifics, but I can share the following. Every dollar made by the game and the merch either goes to the employees or is invested directly into the company in a clear way. Every employee is paid the industry standard with generous EOI bonuses. As someone who works with external vendors, I generally pay them industry standards or their preferred rates. I've worked for some big companies before and I've always had to negotiate down to skimp on budget. I love that I can pay artists fairly here. Now, if people don't want to buy anything pertaining to Dandy's World, that's 100% up to them. Like with any fandom, people should be free to participate however they feel, so long as they're doing so respectfully and comfortably. But don't get it twisted that the money is all or even mostly going to one person. It's not true. The culture at Blushcrunch is extremely encouraging. Everyone seems to believe in Dandy's World and folks are allowed to do more than just their normal job if they want. For instance, I'm also doing things like writing for lore videos and animated content. I'm very excited for folks to see more of what I've worked on, but I did get to help on Tish's latest lore video and the Shelly and Finn animation. Many know this, but it bears repeating. Blushcrunch has an extremely firm anti-AI stance. It's one of the things that lead me to join the studio. Generative AI has no place and never will have any place in Dandy's World. We are and will always be an artist-first studio. I hope that this post has cleared a few things up for many of you. I have faith that in time, a proper resolution for what happened in the past will come. In the future, I'm going to try and be more active on here and everywhere else so I can celebrate my team's work. It's genuinely such a privilege and a joy to be a fan of Dandy's World while actively working on it. In the future and when it's safe for them, I'd also love to start crediting the amazing artists and designers who help make our products because artists always deserve credit for their work. Until then, Aaron.
I know who might say that this is probably fake, and I understand completely. I honestly don't know what to say about this situation. I can't really stay quiet on this. I'll show you more videos before getting off.
Qwel was allegedly harmed by someone who was much older than her. When I first read Qwel's statement about what happened to her, I assumed she was talking about Rox. However, after looking into the details, it appears the person being referred to may have been Void. Void is one of the people publicly calling out Qwel. Void is 29 years old, and based on the ages being discussed, he would have been in his mid-20s when Qwel was around 15. That age gap and the circumstances surrounding their relationship are extremely concerning. What I find especially concerning is that someone who may have been involved in Qwel's past in a harmful way is also one of the people currently speaking out against her. Qwel was also manipulated by Rox. She wasn't someone who knowingly supported everything he did. She was someone who was also affected by his actions. And Void, who was also in his mid-20s at the time, believed Rox too. He even said, I genuinely believed in Rox when he told me that his past decisions were just him being a stupid teen making mistakes, and that he changed and evolved as a person. So how can we fault Qwel for mishandling the Rox situation when a close friend of hers, who was an adult in his 20s, who met her when she was 15 and he was 25, believed Rox's explanation too? Why does that seem to receive so much less scrutiny? So my question is, why are some people willing to acknowledge that others can be victims of manipulation, but refuse to consider that Qwel may have been one too? Void allegedly harmed Qwel, and instead of asking why a 25-year-old man was in contact with a 14 or 15-year-old girl, the conversation has turned into attacking Qwel over claims that do not have definitive proof behind them. I think it's important to look at the full context. If someone was in a position to influence or manipulate Qwel when she was young, then that deserves serious attention too. It shouldn't be ignored simply because she is now the person being criticized. I'm honestly really disturbed after realizing that Joji and other people who have spoken out as victims are reportedly working directly with someone who Qwel has alleged harmed her, and who is also connected with Rox. I think this raises a lot of questions about how people are choosing to handle this situation. If we are going to take claims of harm seriously, then we need to apply that same standard consistently and consider all sides involved.
Again, I genuinely don't know if this is true. I also heard that Joji and Void are still in contact, well, with Rox. So I feel like it's kinda odd for them to speak out about Qwel still being in contact with Rox while they're still in contact with Rox.
Today, I would like to talk about my thoughts on Qwel finding out about Rox's wrongdoings in 2021. Before I get into it, I want to make it very clear that some of what I'm going to say is based on my best assumptions from the information we currently have available. No one other than Qwel herself knows the true and full context of what happened. We as a community will likely never know the complete story. A lot of the arguments for Qwel being problematic seem to come from the fact that she allegedly knew about Rox's wrongdoings back in 2021. In 2021, Qwel would have been around 16 or 17, if I'm not mistaken. We already know that Qwel was lied to and manipulated by Rox. So what makes us think she wasn't being lied to or manipulated by him from the very beginning? We don't know exactly what Rox told her, what information he withheld from her, or what she genuinely believed at the time. A lot of people say that it's her fault that other people were groomed because she allowed Rox to remain around, and I frankly think that is a very gross take. You're essentially putting the responsibility for someone else's actions onto a person who was herself young, being manipulated, and trying to navigate a situation involving someone she trusted. Rox was the person making those choices. The responsibility for his actions belongs to him. That doesn't mean Qwel couldn't have handled things better. It means we should be careful about blaming a potentially manipulated person for the actions of the person who manipulated her. When Qwel did take action by removing Rox, she addressed the situation and privately reached some sort of agreement with him regarding ownership of the games and assets. From what I understand, this was something that needed to be handled carefully for legal reasons. And once Rox was officially removed, I think it's reasonable to consider that chapter closed from a business standpoint. The claim that Qwel should have immediately listened to the victims when they reached out is something that is very easy to say in hindsight. At the time, Rox was someone she considered a trusted friend. She believed that he would actually work to better himself. When she eventually realized that he was, in fact, lying to her, she took action. She has also publicly apologized for how she handled the situation, which to me shows that she recognizes that there were things she could have done differently. She was young then, and she's still young now. She's still learning how to navigate complicated situations, and I don't think it's fair to expect her to have handled everything perfectly. You do not have to agree with me. These are in my opinions based on the information available to me. This situation, like basically every situation, is nuanced. There are multiple perspectives, and there are things that we simply don't know. The videos I've been making are just my perspective on the situation, not the absolute truth. I encourage you to look into everything yourself and come to your own conclusions.
That was basically it. All credit goes to Cosmo is cake with a W instead of an E. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but they probably only post on TikTok. I don't know if they got all the information right, but honestly, I don't know. I don't know what to think, and I'm just trying to, I don't know, just record videos and play games. And yeah, that's basically it. I didn't mean this for being a drama video. And, I know this might ruffle feathers, but I hope, I don't know. I'm just gonna go. Goodbye.